So let's move on to our next session, which I call role play. And I think it's a session that's really, really important, whether you're pitching for money or you're pitching for a seller finance deal. Some people go, that seller finance shit, no, it wouldn't be for me. I'd rather go out and buy the thing. Great, go out and buy it. But not everyone has that type of money. Not everyone has, several cash lying around there. Not everybody wants to take a big, massive risk for the first one. And this thing could be literally on the plate in front of you. So don't throw your nose up yet to it. I truly believe in the next 4 to 5 years in this country, this is going to be huge. It's going to be everywhere. I still don't get a lot of people bringing stuff like this back. The one down in Cork that we're doing a deal with, that we've gone to legals now, 150 million%. I said to Tara the other day, when I got back into my Jeep, when I left Cork, I said, I could have an option done on that in 20 seconds. 20 seconds. And we could have had it in our own portfolio. That would have been another house that I didn't have to put into Plant and Ventures. But anyway, the lead came in there. So you found a deal. 2 Sundale Crescent, 2 Athlone Park, whatever it is. Off one of your sources. You know where your sources are now. Your sources could be Google, direct-to-vendor letters, adverts, setting up leads coming in from your company. You know where I'm talking about. You've got into your car, you went over, you checked the property is empty. You've knocked on the neighbour's door, nobody knows who the landlord is. Now, again, we don't just knock to one neighbour, we go to a couple of neighbours each side. It's a lot easier to just get a fucking mobile number than have to go chasing loads of stuff. You've done a Landrex search, it's throwed up Paul Green living in Temple Oak. Bingo. That's what we want to hear. Now we write up a direct-to-vendor letter, which you're going to send it in to me. That's going to be put into my emails now next week as your course works. You've got the response that you've been waiting for. Mr. Green returns your call and he's interested to hear more. That means your calling card for your business has worked. That's it. You know, right, for some reason this man is interested to hear more. Everybody's going to have a different calling card. Danny just told you his one there. He said 1 or 2 things and he got the woman thinking. Once he got her thinking, he started to put a couple of solutions on the table, and between her and her 2 other siblings, it worked. Because she wasn't going down there painting this property. She wasn't going down there going to lump out a load more money into it, and this deal worked for him. So once you get the letter off me, that's it done. The coffee has been asked from Mr. Green to me. He can't due to him being extremely busy in work. When I hear that again, that's fucking great. Because I'm like, he's definitely not going up to fix this property. Because I know what it's like to be extremely busy. When you don't even have a 15-minute slot in the day. My slot today was about a 45-minute when I got home to sleep. So I could get through tonight. So I know what it's like to be extremely busy. So when I hear a motivated seller saying to me, I'm really, really busy. I've only got like 15 minutes on Zoom. I'm like, this is fucking perfect. This is what we're leading to. He agrees to book in a Zoom call to discuss an offer. Again, we book in a Zoom call for about 15 minutes. We're going to do this next week. We can do this in 2 ways. We can do it live on Zoom, or you can come to the studio. I think if you're not doing that next Thursday night, it's much better atmosphere here in the studio. And we're going to go through what we're talking about. We're going to grade you on your negotiation skills. We're going to try and repair you. We're going to try and get your numbers out correctly, that you understand what the deal looks like, that you understand what you can pay for it, and that you can understand how you can exit that. Now, how I'm going to make this role play a little bit easier for you is I'm going to put up 2 role plays that were previously done. Ozzy, can you take note of that? 2 role plays that were previously done. And Ozzy's going to drop it into your WhatsApp group or drop it into the vault so you understand the flow of this. So one for pitching for finance and the other pitching for an investor or pitching for lease option deals. Again, a couple of things to bear in mind here, especially if you're going to meet an investor. Now, if I'm saying to you that these deals are called seller finance deals, forget about it for a second that person may have ran into a little dark hole, or they may not have any money at this point in their life. You still do these same things. You show up on time. You log in early to any of these calls. Anyone that you think is a motivated seller, don't walk through them doors 45 minutes late and give them some bullshit excuse. You dress for success, suited and booted, especially if you're looking for money. If you're coming in here trying to pitch for finance, let's all look professional, act professional, because the most people that do tend to get the money. As we know how much money is in them Irish banks. Become the expert in the room. You're like, how the fuck do I do that? I'm only 6 weeks on this course. You're 6 weeks with a massive amount of knowledge now. So increase that knowledge next week. You get it out of your mouth, get comfortable with it. You're a lot more expert than most of the people knocking around now. If your call is booked in for 25 minutes, what I would normally do in any deal that I'm going into, any deal, if I'm going into that boardroom to do a deal, if I'm going down to Carlo to do a deal, I'll be role playing that shit like over and over and over and over. And I've more fucking experience than most people with this. Because it's all that this dumb person could do. I knew I had to work a little bit harder than everyone else. And I mastered that shit. So if I'm going into any sort of scenario here, whether it's raising finance or it's going for a deal pitch, I am role playing that shit over and over in my head. So a little rule of thumb I have here is you definitely need to do, if it's for 25 minutes, you're definitely covering an hour and a half of your own time, preparing for it. Practice at least 3 times a week if you're serious about this. What should give you that motivation to practice 3 times a week is if you've got no set of keys sitting on the other side of the table and you know you can get them. You know you've got it in there to get them. Record yourself and watch it back. If your partner's on this course with you, which several people are, stop talking about other shit in life and start talking about you role playing a deal out. One is the owner and one is trying to pitch your company to them. And watch what comes back and forward. Why should I do this? What's the point of doing it? Why will I give you the money? Why would I sign this house over to you? And start thinking and start talking that lingo. Sorry. Do not discuss the price. Don't do this next week. You're going to have time. You're going to understand it when you see this role play being lodged into the vault. Do not discuss the price until you get your brand in. Danny said nothing about that price. I screamed at him in that boardroom and all he wanted to do was tell her the price. I was like, Danny, do not tell the woman the price. She's not going to want to know. Talk about the deal. Talk about all the shit that you're going to fix in the next 3 weeks. Don't talk about the price. She will be more fucking interested in that price than anybody. And she'll want to know the price over and over again. And your job is to explain what you can do very quickly. Keep the price sitting there at the end because that's going to be our way out of this deal. Well, we can do this for 7 years and you did say 240,000. Yeah, that's what it's worth. Well, okay. Because this is all going to get logged in to a proper contract sheet onto a head of terms. And there's tons more stuff to do on this thing. Be very clear of how you make your money in the deal. Don't discuss the amount, just show the gap. Again, Danny said nothing to you about cash flow tonight. So, how will we anchor something in here? Let's just say her mortgage is €1,000 a month. That's normally where I start. I try and get the number out of them. I try to get the running costs out of them, and I try to anchor something down. Now, Danny's doing student lets down there, and he has done them in Athlone for like 13 or 14 years in the same college. He knows when he reignites this shit, it's the same money coming back in. He gets a lot more money than I get out of rental income. So he was able to anchor a price with her. She knew she was looking into a pile of crap. They couldn't get it fixed. It was going to cost them a pile of money. And Danny knew, well, let's just say it was 1,200 quid. Well, if I can give you 1,200 quid and fix all these problems and get you back on track in 2 weeks' time, how does that sound? And I can buy it off you guaranteed in 5 years' time for the 240,000. All of her, everything that she's entered into this property space for is now back on track. So be very careful. Do not discuss the price. Discuss the gap. When I fix this thing up, with the way I manage this thing, and I've done it for several years, is we go for a high net worth individual. We go for a corporate let. If it's student lets, I'm down here every single week. I'm managing the doors, the floors. I'm watching every single thing. This problem will never, ever happen again under my watch. It can't because it's going to cost me money. Now, that's where you made a complete balls of this. And that's the way I would speak to them people. And I'd make a point clear. Our main job is to extract the information and to solve his or her problem. That's exactly what he done. Extracted the information, solved the problem. Got himself a set of keys. Once all parties are very clear of how your brand operates, you can move forward. Now we start to move to the closing the deal. And we haven't done a sales cycle in here, which I think is on board for next week as well. Is it? Yeah. That's where you're going to have to learn a bit about sales. And I'm going to teach you that too. Because when that deal starts to go in, like when Danny rang me one night at 9 o'clock saying, I have this thing. I said, no, Danny, now go for the close. Stop fucking around now and close the deal out. Is that making sense? Yes. Is this making sense? Yes. Have you got the money for the refurb? Yes. Are they agreeing to the legals? Yes. Have they got a legal team in place? Yes. Close the fucking deal. And there's a lot of people will still want to send spreadsheets and they'll still want to analyze at that point, and you will lose the deal. Your ears have to be able to tell you that now I need to close this thing. If you're in business and you know someone's buying something off you, you have to know when to sell it. You're not going to keep on putting more and more into the equation. The very first one I done, I closed the book in front of the poor woman and I said, I tell you what, nothing is going to please you. You go back to an estate agent. The next track you do, go to an estate agent, because I can't help you any more than that. She's like, no, hang on a second. I said, look, I'm done with you. I'm fucking sick of this shit. That was me anchoring that deal. We're doing a very, very big deal. I can't disclose it at the moment. And a very, very professional man done a fucking big move last week. And it frightened the living daylights out of me. And about 20 minutes later, he said, that's how you anchor a deal, kiddo. And it worked. Right? So that's what I'm telling you about. Don't keep adding stuff in here. If the deal is a deal and it works like that and you're solving their problem, you're not a guinea pig for them. You're the one that has to take this risk on. Get yourself to a certain point, get yourself comfortable, and then look at them in the eyes and say, don't take the piss out of me, I'm trying to help you. That's exactly where we're going. Other than that, there's zero negotiations after this point. You have to be able to know how to close it.